Hello again, guys. Simon here with Lewis, Bad Players Podcast. We're back sooner than usual.
Yeah, that's usually
usually sooner than usual. Lewis went to a cup on Sunday. And he's basically going to talk you through the deck, why he played it, why we chose that deck. That. And then he's going to go through
why you chose.
why I chose the deck, and but he's going to talk to you about why we chose the deck, and go through the matchups, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was a good cup, to be fair, but it was in Daventry. It was in like a storage container, if that makes sense. There's little things where.
Yeah. Have you not been there before?
No, I'm not that one.
But... It's the one where me, Hasib, and George went, and George and Hasib made the top 8.
Oh, I'm into that.
And I played the last box and got wrecked.
Yeah.
I actually got wrecked by Kai as well. So, it was in Daventry. There was how many players? Masters?
44 Masters. Couple of juniors and seniors. Enough for a top 4 in juniors and seniors.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
So it was like 9 and then 8. It was like 9 and 8, I think. For juniors and seniors, it was something like that.
That's quite good for the
little
kids.
one. For the little ones.
So 44 Masters is 6 rounds of Swift?
Yeah, it was 6 rounds. I ended up going. I'll talk about how I ended up going later on, actually.
Yeah. So 6 rounds, 44 Masters. Good venue.
Good players as well. There are some really good players at the Daventry ones by Mike and Gemma. I know Mike has been head judge for a couple of regionals now. Same with Gemma as well. Has been a prominent judge in a couple of regionals. Mike, even though their head judge with Worlds, wasn't he? Was he like?
I think so. I think they, as a collective, are like a really, really strong with Reese as well.
Reese was. I swear Reese was the World Championship final judge, like the stream judge.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure.
I think he
was.
But
they have like...
And then obviously we got like Terry doing the computer stuff.
Yeah,
good old
big
Terry.
Up Terry.
Gotta love Terry. But I would say those 4 collectively are a pretty
solid team. Terry's always at regionals doing the high stuff.
Really, so their cups are always like A-star really.
Yes.
Like really good.
So they had a couple of good players. Some to note were Kai, I guess, because he won both of our cups back to back. We got another one this week, so if he wins that'd be very impressive. He is in, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that'd be impressive. They got Luke Kirkham, so one of the other guy from the Omnipoke podcast thingamadoodle YouTube channel.
Was it just Luke there with the Omnipokes?
Yeah, just him. There was Demetrius, second place at Toronto. Him. Mm-hmm. Lucian. And that was it that I know. There were probably some that have won like stuff that I'm not 100% sure of.
Yeah.
But I decided to not play Lost Box, which is what I've been playing for what seems like forever now.
Well, if I can interrupt, I decided that he shouldn't play Lost Box. And he can explain to you mainly the reason why when you go into like the matchups, but you didn't want ties. Mainly, because it's a tie deck.
Well, when I was deciding what I wanted to play, the first thing that we did decide on was the town store tool Lost Box deck thing. So I was like, test that, see how you feel. I didn't play one game with that. I didn't even build it online. I went straight to, funnily enough, it's not the deck I played, but I played Arceus Gyarados VMAX. And if we did have Gyarados VMAX, that would have been what I played. But I went like 11-0 online, so I didn't that's how I finished the testing, like 11-0, and then I lost playing some random deck. But I enjoyed it, and then I was like, oh wait, we have no VMAXs. I was like, oh well, that's...
I swear we had some.
Yeah, that was all for nothing. So instead,
nobody had them.
Instead.
But nobody.
Yeah, emulating what the attack of the first attack of Gyarados, so 120 Hyper Beam, discarding energy from your active Pokemon. I decided to play this with 4 Crushing Hammers, 4 Judge, and 4 Path.
So we rolled it back to Sota's winning deck from the 141.
Yeah.
So just pretty much copy and paste
100%.
But it's
I'm just
pretty
full screen this.
Pretty sick deck.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. So it's 4 Arceus, 3 Arceus V-Star. When you're playing 4 Arceus V and then 3 Arceus V-Star, that's just the norm now. You don't normally see 4 anymore. So some do, some don't. But the 2 Bidoof, good Bidoof. 2 Bibarel, which is the engine. We've got Squovit, which is also the engine, funnily enough, allowing me to draw those.
And put stuff back.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah, the Squovit, putting 1 card, putting all your cards to the bottom, drawing 1 card off the top. Obviously, good synergy with Bibarel. We've got the Spiritomb. It's the Fettered in Misfortune, I think it's called. Let's full screen this because this was a good card for the day.
Card's so broken.
This card was one of many MVPs in the deck, just for its ability. Although I did use the attack twice. I
guess we'll get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about me using the attack twice.
Oh, I remember the one you said.
Yeah, then I used it once randomly, but there was one clutch moment. But Fettered in Misfortune, basic Pokemon V in play, have no abilities. This is mainly for Luminion-based decks, and the... Oh my god, why has it gone out? Mew, with the Genesect V. And if they play the Fusion Energy, I have 4 Crushing Hammers. And I didn't hit many on Sunday. I really didn't.
Well, the hammers?
Yeah, it's Wednesday today, I was about to say yesterday. But yeah, I didn't hit many, and I must have hit, out of all of the games, I must have probably hit 4. Okay. So it didn't go very well.
So it's kind of just good as a deck, isn't it?
Yeah.
The hammers are just like funny.
So the Spiritomb was great, one of the MVPs. And we got Slacking, which is also amazing, with the ability being turned off by the Spiritomb and the 4-path. So it's, the ability is pretty kind of gimmicky, but it's if you have 2, 4, 6 prize cards remaining, this Pokemon can't attack. There was one time where I attacked when I had 3 prizes remaining, so I didn't need the path, which was awesome, I thought. But
it's in that weird. I guess it's the kind of thing where sometimes you don't want like a weird prize exchange, but that kind of works sometimes.
Yeah, it's quite a gimmicky ability, but that is turned off by the Spiritomb that I talked about, and the 4 copies of Path in the deck.
And the attack is
power this up. Yeah, 260 for 4 energy, which can be powered up with the Arceus, which is pretty nuts, and with a V-Guard energy, because you power 3 water and a V-Guard energy, you got Slacking with 260 effectively. Hitting for exactly 260 as well. With a choice belt, that's 290. That was my, that if I would have been able to get that out against Lugia, which I'll talk about in a minute, I would have been sailing. But I couldn't get it out. It was just not coming out. And when it did come out, I checked my deck and I had barely any energy. But weak to fighting, so obviously the same shenanigans with fighting decks or the fighting techs like Stonejourner. Still hit it for the big double times 2 fighting weakness.
Yeah.
Retreat cost 3 because it's a sloth. But the
he's kind of lazy, that's why.
But the sloth was broken. My big attacker basically helped me, and Tina, which I knew was a bad matchup going into it. But there were ways around that, including 4 Judge. And 4 Judge and Path into any deck is quite hit or miss sometimes. But if you miss it, you've still got 3 more attempts to lock them out. And if you hit it, you win the game pretty much. Free boss, which is crazy. So it turns the deck into kind of like a hunter deck, I like to call it. And that helped with the Slacking as well. Literally, Slacking was powered up with a choice belt of V-Guard energy. And then I have boss.
You can't kill nearly anything.
Yeah. I'm hitting 290.
Yeah. I'll
hit anything. And I'll take, even if it's not a knockout, I'll still take that damage.
Yes.
I can always clean that up later on. The 3 Ionos, just the late game Judge basically.
Yeah.
Play Judge early game, Iono late game, or Iono for your first turn to get hopefully the Arceus or Double Turbo or whatever you need that turn 1. Which is what I found Iono was for really, was the early game stuff.
It's the not research, because I found testing this deck that research is just too...
Yeah, you want to put all the stuff in.
It's too destructive because you get rid of so much stuff. Like, it's really good, but I tested it originally with 2 research. And if you kind of feel like you maybe have to starburst for the research, but then you're like, well, I have 3 water energy in my hand, I have my 2 stadiums in my hand. The Iono is just good to not lose your resources, because this deck is quite tight on resources. Even though it hasn't got 300 attackers, it's just quite basic.
Yes.
It's actually really hard to get 60.
Yeah.
I think we've been floating around like 62, 63 cards.
Yeah, building.
And swapping them and changing them.
I tell you what, trying to improve this deck is very hard.
Yeah, because you cut stuff to make it better, but then by cutting stuff you make it worse.
Yeah, it's all the same, where it's just like, oh, it's the same, but I don't have this now.
Yeah.
We got 2 Sharon's Care. I don't even need to explain this. If they don't one-shot Arceus is coming back.
You just win.
Literally
like
coming
most
back.
times, I guess.
Yeah,
that's kind of the loop, isn't it?
I played Sharon a couple of times, but when I played it, my opponent always had the response of like, oh, or like, oh, or like, oh. They were like, I didn't, or like, I saw that coming, but I just had to hope you didn't get it. A lot of the time what I did is I baited people into thinking that I got Path to the Peak and Double Turbo off an Iono, off a Starbirth, when in fact I actually grabbed Sharon for next turn. But I played those 2 cards specifically in that order, so they thought that's what I got. That's something I like to do when I'm playing Arceus. I think that's quite good way to play it.
You make it look like you said you looked for very specific.
And I literally like do those 2 cards straight away.
And I find then as well, you probably found it like if you did that, I find it when I play this deck online that if you specifically search for say that, but you've got the Sharon in hand or you haven't got the Sharon in hand and you search for it with a path, they never refresh your hand. Like they'll never Iono you or judge you, like unless they really have to. So you sit there and you're like, I think they think my hand's dead, so I'll just sound.
Yeah, we've got the 4 Nest Ball, pretty self-explanatory. You can get literally everything in the deck, even slacking, which is nuts. The 4 Crushing Hammer, kind of a gimmicky card. There was one thing I hated about the Crushing Hammer, which really annoyed me, and I'll talk about this just briefly. I was in game 2 against, just lost game 1 against Palkia. And then I Crushing Hammered away a Water Energy after Judge Path. And then he went draw for turn, Melanie, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And he was like, that is the one time where you don't want to play a Crushing Hammer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to play it because I didn't want you to get the attach, knock out my my Arceus that was in the active. And he was like, that is fair, yeah. Otherwise the card was great. Mew, obviously, if I played against Mew, it was for that. If I played against, especially Double Turbo Mew, if I played against Lost Box, that helped as well. If they did the Mirage Gate thing where they attached one to the active, one to the bench to set up like an later Greninja, I was able to just stop that, make them waste their resources. That's all it was there for. Did
you play the Charizards?
No, there was only one.
I find the hammers are good against Charizard because they don't play many energy. So you crush and hammer. Fingers crossed, get heads, hit Charizard for 180. They attach an energy to it. Ideally, then you want to boss the second Charizard, hit it for 180, and then you crush and hammer the one that's on the bench already damaged. So you get them stuck. It's a bit like when we used to play the old decks, and it was like whatever they have on their bench gets KO'd, whatever they've got in the active gets KO'd. So because Charizard, obviously, if you're too aggressive, this just loses because they just one-shot everything. So, just wondering if you played any Zards, because that's your strategy against Zard is hit, hammer, Sharon's Care, la-di-da.
There's the 4 Crushing Hammer, I've already talked about that. The 4 Ultra Ball, self-explanatory, get rid of... Sometimes it was a bit hard, though, to decide what to get rid of Ultra Ball. But luckily, playing 4 Judge, most of the time it was 1 Judge.
It's good for fitting late game, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It is good. It needs to be in the deck, though.
Yeah.
1 Escape Rope and 1 Switch. Switch helps if they get something stuck, especially that B-Barrel or Slacking. Sometimes they get Slacking stuck in the active and I can't find this last energy, so I'll just switch it into Arceus, get another attack off. That happened like once or twice when I played. Choice Belt helps hit those numbers. It gives Slacking the magic number of 280. Even gives Arceus 230 if you have all the water energy, which is the magic number for little Vs.
Yeah.
Helps to knock out that Entei, which is also good for the Charizard matchup.
How much does Slacking hit for?
260, so 290 with a Choice Belt.
So 270 if you've got a DTE, I suppose, which is still okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Then we got, I'll talk about this card last, 100% the Panic Mask last. It was 4 Path to the Peak, Path Judge, don't need to say anything else about that. 8 Water Energy, which had a bit of controversy in the first matchup, which he was like, "Why are you playing Water Energy?" And I went, "Oh, it's because it's just cool." He was like, "No, you're playing Melanie or something." And I was like, "No, it's because it's just cool."
It's just funny.
He was like, "You're playing like Alolan Vulpix," and I was like, "You'll see." I showed him afterwards. He was like, "Oh, fair enough." 4 double turbo energy. It helps you retreat the B-barrel.
Yeah, it does.
That is what I like
tend
about
to
it.
save them.
Mhm.
Like I tend to. I don't know if you found it, but when I play this, it tends to be your first Arceus as a DTE.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you Sharon it, it's the same DTE, and then all other 3 DTEs. I find late game when they try and get you stuck, you just go. Yeah.
V-Guard energy was great in Sunday. Attaching it to, ideally you want to have the V-Guard energy attachment first turn.
Mm-hmm.
If you get that is broken. 250 Arceus.
Really hard.
You're not getting many cheesy donks.
Miraidon.
Not
because they can hit 230.
They need a choice belt, don't
Yeah.
they?
So yeah, no,
220
no
plus
cheese.
choice belt, so it helps stop the cheese. And then the other V-Guard is normally for slacking, or unless you want to go ultra cheese and have 2 on each Arceus, 1 on each Arceus, which is also annoying. But finally, the last card, which must have been picked up by my opponents about 3 or 4 times.
This card's so funny.
Is prevent all damage done to this Pokemon that this card is attached to by attacking your opponent's Pokemon that have 40 HP or less remaining. And when slacking hits 290 and isn't one-shotting those big VMAXs, it can help to leave them stuck and not be able to attack. But the main reason it's in there, which did happen once, because I played Guardy once, is it stops Guardy from one-shotting you as much. If they get the Lost Vacuum, if they play it, then fair enough. But if they don't, you're sailing, and I was sailing against that guy.
Or as we said, if they get they just happen to have the 2 triple energy on like a little Guardy, they can one-shot you, because it only takes like 2 energy or something. But then the next turn you're one-shotting the Guardy with the triple energy on it, so then their threats become less.
Yeah, so this card is kind of like the whoa card.
Yeah, it's a good card.
It was good,
like,
yeah.
It used to be, if you remember it, I used to have Boxer Disaster in it, which helps you against like the same idea. But this, the reason like this is in, and I think it's the reason why it was in the late night tournament, is because Boxer Disaster like will also one-shot the little Guardy or the Zacian, but you also get knocked out. This literally just stops them doing anything.
Yeah.
And then all their energy is stuck. So you could just boss around it, you can...
Do all that shenanigans, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the one thing I'm going to talk about after Simon's done his little bit of waffling, I think he wants to do more. Do you want to do more? He's done now.
No, I'm going to let Liz talk a bit more.
I think I'll talk about like the whole day, like other than the tournament, like I'll talk about everything else. It was quite an early wake up, I think, wasn't it? Because I would, slot it on me if you want. If you want the
Do I do that, yeah?
Yeah, there we go, he's learning. And then that one,
There
we go. So I'm going to delete the tab because we have a potato computer and it doesn't let us do anything else other than to. There we go. That should be better audio quality and video quality now. But yeah, early wake up. It was about 6:30, but I kind of my 6:40. And
what time did you get up?
6:40 minute.
What time did your alarm go off?
6:30. I don't even know. I can't remember. It was early.
His alarm never went off. I got him out of bed.
Oh yeah, my alarm didn't go off because I set it to 7:30 instead by accident, and then I had to turn it off. That was it.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
So luckily I had an early start. Please continue.
Anyway, Terry picked me up.
Yeah, he would have sat there all day waiting for you, wouldn't he? Yeah, exactly.
Terry and George picked me up, and it was
They were on time.
Shut up. It was an hour and 30-minute drive. Hour and 30-minute drive. And then we had a McDonald's breakfast, which they allow you to add an extra hash brown to your breakfast now. Did you know that?
No.
Oh. Anyway,
McDonald's.
Went there.
I do, but
went there, and then the McDonald's was literally like 5 minutes away from.
Is it that tiny one?
It's the tiny one,
like
yeah.
Literally the tiny one.
McDonald's, yeah. Right next to the venue.
By the roundabout.
Yeah, right next to the venue. Got to the venue and it was like literally 3 of us there, including like there was like 2 judges, me, George, Terry.
Oh, you were super early.
And then it was like 3 other people. And then after being there for about 20 minutes, the poop hit the fan. Everyone just kept coming in. Like I had to go outside because so many people were coming in, and the sun as well was right by the one table.
It does. Yeah, I was gonna say it gets that one beat.
Yeah, by the one table I chose to sit on, there was the sun right on the right on my face. But there was loads of people. Everyone's just pretty social there, pretty good.
Like you said, it was like 60 people or something.
They started relatively on time. Relatively, I think it was pretty much on time.
Mm-hmm.
I started my first round 10. Can't remember. It was about 10. I played against Miraidon. Really nice guy. Ended up winning the whole thing. So my first round.
So spoiler alert, you didn't win.
Yeah, I didn't win. But now they know I didn't win. Now they know.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on then.
But he won with Miraidon. That was a great match. So I went to game 3. First game, I got donked and scooped straight away. Literally, I had Arceus with a double turbo, Bidoof on the bench and passed. No, and if you got the knockout, you got the knockout, and he does the typical attach energy double electric generator. So it was 1 electric generator with 2 energy, and I was like, yeah, I can't win. Straight on that retreat, I promoted Bidoof, and I was like, I can't win. Literally, no, I can't win. Even though it's game 1, still can't win. Game 2, I ended up winning. He got an attack off on an Arceus. I just Sharoned it straight into slacking. Got a 1-shot on slacking. His only attacker was Raikou, but I had Bidoof, Arceus, and slacking, and that was it. He couldn't 1-shot anything. He couldn't even hit big numbers. He couldn't knock out the slacking. Can't knock out the slacking. Slacking takes another knockout. So
that's like, again, sorry, but that's the one good thing about this weird Arceus deck is you can literally, against Miraidon, I suppose, if you set up, you can just have like no bench.
Yeah.
Like against, I guess, any of those decks. Like we'll get to Palkia obviously in a bit.
Yeah.
But they count on you deck. So like you said, if you just had slacking, Bibarel and Arceus in play, like I don't even know what the Raikou hits, like 220 or something.
It hits.
If that.
It hits like 180 with like barely any bench on my
20, side. 120.
But he didn't do the attack because he recognised what was going to happen and scooped up. So we were in game 3 relatively quickly.
Wow.
And then when I said to him, "Is this going to be the quickest set ever?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know." Game 3 went on for a tiny bit longer than the other 2 games. But I knew I was finished when he started just attaching energy. And then he benches Raichu, and I'm like, wow, I know what's coming now.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, V-Guard energy on the active Arceus, and it comes out. I'm like, yeah, mate, that's it. Couldn't do anything. I still played it out because it was game 3, but he got the winner for me. I think I had 2 prizes remaining when he did that, so it was 2 or 3, so it was relatively close.
So we're 0-1.
0-1, yeah. Typical Lewis fashion. I always lose the first round.
0-1. Going into round 2, you're 0-1.
0-1.
So round 2 was?
Arceus Tina. No, it was not. It was... Sorry, let me think. It was... Guardy. This was Guardy. This was the guy playing pretty much Demetrius's list. I 2-0'd him relatively quickly as well, but it's just I know how to play against Guardy. I've played against it way too many times because of someone who plays Arceus every week. Obviously, I was playing a different deck than what I normally play, but I still knew how to beat it. If you know how to play, I know how to play Guardy as well. So if you know how to play Guardy, you know how to beat
surely
it.
Path Judge.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of Path Judge. Spirit Mask came in clutch for a turn where he had to retreat into something and use the Cresselia attack. He had to use that, and he softened me up then, and I was like, yeah, that's fair, but
they
also stops the one
they
shot.
also whiff a knockout.
Yeah. So I went like 4 prizes ahead before he could knock out anything. So he did like a load of damage. I think it was 260 to an Arceus, and I was Sharon's care. He was so annoyed, and he was
2 words of like.
Yeah, and then I picked up the Arceus and just did the same shenanigans.
No Sharon's care.
I think when I did the Sharon's care against him, when I had 3 prizes remaining, I had slacking. I didn't bench the other Arceus because I didn't want him to do the boss up the Arceus, boss up the slacking. If he bosses up the slacking, then I can evolve the bench the Arceus. because then you're like kind of baiting them into not being able to get that like 4 prizes off easy spots.
Yeah.
That was an okay match, relatively, not to be that guy, but it was relatively easy. Game 3, so I'm 1-1 now.
So 1-1.
Yeah.
Going into round 3.
That was against Arceus Tina. No, Lost Box Tina. I always get them confused for some reason.
I'm just gonna see how.
Are you gonna see
I'm
me
just
messaging
gonna see
you?
if you've got it correct.
Yeah. So I can't. It was that. There's a couple.
Last game won. Miraidon went nuts.
That was the game 3 referring to.
Beat Guardy. That was round 2.
Guardy, yeah.
Round 3. Tina,
yeah, so I did get it right. So played against Lost Tina, which is arguably a really hard matchup for me, just because the Tina can one-shot.
I guess Sharons don't really matter. Technically don't matter.
However, I lost game 1 to him relatively quickly as well, because he just went Evolve, Mirage Gate, Knockout. I hit him for 180 with Arceus. He went Star Requiem. I was I'm not even going to bother with the next one.
Yeah.
The next knockout, you've definitely got it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to knock out your Arceus, you can just ping me with the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you win. Game 2 was a lot of judging. Game 3 was a lot of judging, sorry. Game 2, he started Comfey, Cram, Greninja, and then Greninja, Comfey, and Pass, and played Path.
Okay.
He put Path down. So I had all 3 games, by the way, I had no Starbirth at all for each of the games, because you always played Path turn 1.
Yeah.
However, Judge and their Path, when they have Greninja in play, and you get the knockout on the Comfey going first, because obviously I went to go first, attached to the energy, he was done. Comfey gets knocked out. I think in the end, the only attack he did was Cramorant's attack.
So you did to hit him what he tried to do to you.
Yeah.
Because you have Judge.
He got out Tina at one point, but I boss knocked out with Slacking. That game I won. Game 3, he got a little bit more set up, but it wasn't good for him, to be fair.
Was it the Tina? I can't remember if you told me. Was it the Tina where you put the panic mask on?
Yeah, it was the Tina where I 260'd with Slacking, and then attached the panic mask, and then he retreated into something to attack me, and then I said I couldn't get the boss, but I just knocked him out. He came back, he couldn't knock me out with that Tina. That Tina was kind of locked, so he had to boss up something else. And that until he played Lost Vacuum, which he did eventually get, that Arceus was safe for about two. Slacking, yeah. So I'm gonna get well confused. It was on Sunday, and I played so many games. There we go. Yeah, Slacking. With that, the Slacking was safe. It took 2 knockouts, which is not what Slacking's meant to do. So getting the 2 knocks out was Slacking. The Judge Path, turn 1, he literally, as soon as I knocked out the Comfey, he promoted Greninja, and then he had to bench Snorlax, and then attach an energy to basically I locked him out of the game, and he just went downhill from there.
That's good.
The unfortunate thing with my deck is if you get Judge Path and that's how you win, there's not much to really talk about. Because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, but you got like the panic mouse clutch. Yeah. You've got obviously the V-Guard probably coming clutch.
Yeah, literally. I got the Judge Path, which was how I won. But I had the ways to stop myself from losing when he got set up, which he eventually got a little bit set up, and that's what the panic mouse did. Then I played again, so I'm 2-1 now.
Round 4
was Palkia with the Starmie, which was really, really annoying. I didn't know he played Starmie, so before you all go hating, saying, why did you attach so many energy?
Which is what I did here.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you shouldn't have attached too many energy.
No idea who played Starmie. So Starmie just one-shot me. A good player, it was Luke Kirkham, so he bossed up the Bibarel, and he knocked out the Bibarel, and then I was like, oh, I now have 3 Arceuses, and then I attached energy to my Arceuses, and then he goes bench Starmie, attach return, Melanie, retreat, 500 damage. And I was like,
how much health Starmie got?
190.
So you can one-shot it with another, but...
Yeah. Then game 2 was what I talked about. That's how that went, I literally would have won that if I didn't Crushing Hammer him. the judge path.
Right.
The judge path allowed him. The judge path gave him nothing, but then the Melanie allowed him to attach the energy, draw 3 cards, and just get himself out of it. And then he came up with the knockout with manually, and then he star-me'd, but couldn't. I didn't have any energy in play, but he had enough to star me a little Arceus, which was annoying.
Yeah,
he beat me then, so I went 2-2.
So he's texting me, and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, 2-2.
And I'm like, this is definitely like Lewis. In every tournament we go to, I usually get the text message of, I need to win out. I need to win out. So that's round 4, yeah?
Yeah.
So you need to win 2 in a row.
I need to win 2 in a row.
So next one was Goodra.
Oh, this is when I went.
Round 5, yeah? Goodra.
This is when Lewis puts his head up.
My tryout, mate.
And as not many people do know, but if there's a photo of me in like Top Cut or something, I usually have my hood up. But I do remember having my hood up that game. It was against Goodra. Immediately, I was hyped. I knew it was a great matchup, or awesome matchup. I was against Adam Lawson. No, Steve Lawson. Steve Lawson. He's a funny man.
He's alright, Steve.
Yeah, he is a good man. We had a great game though. I 2-0'd him, but it was still a good game. There was normal stuff you'd expect. It was a lot of judging, especially as the lost Goodra. A lot of judging. He didn't get the Goodra out because there's no point, especially against me when
we could one shot with slacking.
Yeah, there's no point. He knew I played. He knew I had options. I could have escape rope bossed 290 with the slacking.
Didn't you say he said to you, he saw your deck and he's like, I just lose.
Yeah. I said, so you're playing.
You just out heal him down.
I said, so you're playing Goodra then, yeah? And he was like, yeah, what are you playing? And I said, like Arceus Hammers. And he was like, oh, I lose. It's going to be fun for me.
Because if it's similar to the Goodra list, you know what we saw, Hermione played. I guess it's similar to that one. Nothing can one-shot an Arceus, yeah? Mm-hmm. So they're two-shotting you.
Oh no, this game went to game 3, sorry. This game went to game 3. Yeah.
Being two-shot with Sharon's Care is just what you want.
Mm-hmm. So
it did go to game 3.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I won game 1. Game 2, he...
so you were dissing him a bit then? It's only 2-0.
I can't remember now. Because, I don't know, it was game 3, because I went first twice. Yeah, it was. But it's because game 3, he started Goodra and nothing else, and that's how I won. He started Goodra, manually attached. He did the heal, and then he couldn't attack because I'd hit into him for so much damage with a Panic Mask attached. He couldn't attack even if he wanted to, and he got no other bench Pokemon.
And he'd already healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the game that was easy. That's how I won. But game 2 was, I think I scooped straight away. I had such a pants starting hand. I was like, it was because I got like the same starting hand game 1 and 2, but in game 2 I didn't have the Arceus and the Bidoof. I just had the Bidoof. If I had the Arceus, I had the double turbo energy and the Ultra Ball as well. But I just started the Bidoof, and if you have the starting hand and you're Ultra Balling and you've drawn for turn twice, you can't B-barrel because you've still got 5 or 6 cards in your hand. Yeah. So I just had a B-barrel in the active, and I was like 110. Yep, I can't attack. 110 done. And then that game 3, as I said. So I won that one.
So you are now 3-2. So you're going to round 6. Mm-hmm. This is your winning in, maybe.
This was the winning in.
Maybe a winning in, dependent. Yeah. And you played against Mew VMAX.
I played against Mew VMAX. I did.
How did that go?
I was against someone called Tuesday.
Okay.
Cool name.
On
very
Sunday.
Cool. It was a very cool name. I actually asked them if that was their proper name, and she said no. And I was very disappointed.
Okay.
But she said that's her nickname. I was like, fair enough. But anyway,
So you said this match was like interesting.
This was a weird match. Honestly, I didn't know if I was going to win this, or it was definitely the best match of the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So game 1 started off with Arceus, and I got no energy the whole game. Like the whole game, I had everything set up.
What, except an attacker?
I had to Starbirth for the double turbo and missed another energy.
Okay.
I had to, because I attached it to the little Arceus just in case. Then luckily I drew into an escape rope and I had to Trinity Charge turn 3.
Yeah, I hate that.
And I lost
when
that
you have
game.
to Starbirth for Trinity Charge.
That happened all 3 games, by the way. I had rubbish starts all 3 games.
And you lost game 1?
Yeah, lost game 1.
Okay.
That was, I literally got battered. Nothing to talk about there.
They just set up Mew and kill?
Yeah, Mew came up. The Power Tablet choice bout, I was like, yep, see you later. Game 2.
Which Mew was it? Fusion Mew,
yeah. And then game 2, this is where the greedy Mew players really helped me out here. Now, game 2, I was pure myself. She goes second. I attach double turbo to Arceus. I'm like, I'm gonna go for the nuts. If she has the nuts, she probably wins. I bench Arceus, bench Bidoof, I bench Spiritomb. And I don't bench Spiritomb out until this point. And then she goes, when she has her turn, she goes Alsa Sparkle, double turbo, Power Tablet, knock out Arceus V with a double turbo.
With Meloetta, yeah?
With Meloetta. And I was like, I lose. I'm not getting to top 8. There's no chance I get into any cut.
You're like, bruh.
And then I play the most unholy nest ball known to man. I get out the Spiritomb. And you're like, oh, but they attach the fusion energy to the Genesect. Not when they've just gone a Meloetta, when they've got 2 on the actual Meloetta, and they decide to put 1 on the Mew. I was like, that's it. They're hunting the Spiritomb until then, and I'm like, get in. Spiritomb comes out, I boss up Genesect, attach double turbo to the other Arceus because I benched 2. Bench the Slacking and the Arceus, 2 on the Slacking, 1 on the Arceus, evolve Arceus, attach the Choice Bout, knock out Genesect. She promotes Meloetta. Meloetta hits me for 140? Something like that. 210. It's not enough to knock out a V-Star.
Yeah, so free fusion, yeah?
Yeah.
6 12, 18.
Yeah, she played, whatever she hit into me was not enough to knock out the V-Star.
Yeah.
They
need all 4, don't they?
Sharon's Care comes into play. I just evolve straight into the what's it called? The Arceus V-Star that I've Sharon's Cared. And then knock out the boss up, knock out the only Mew she had in play. It was the only Mew with energy on, but I wanted to keep the Meloetta because I wanted to play the prize race.
It's not doing a lot, is it, either? Because if you've already got rid of any fusion energy, you're fine.
Yeah. So then, I don't think she realised that Path and Spiritomb both stopped the Genesect. So I remember she got rid of the Path. The Spiritomb was still in play, and she was like, oh, I'll Genesect, and I'm not that guy. So I was like, no, you can't, there's Spiritomb. And she was like, oh no, I just realised. And she was like, yep, that's it, game 3. So game 3, I look at my opening hand, I have nothing in it. My only basic is Spiritomb. I have double turbo and the water energy. She starts Genesect, and I'm like, what do I do? I literally biggest.
This is the...
Yeah. It was like the biggest head scratch of all time. I was like, what do I do? So I was like, okay, draw for turn, nest ball. I'm like, okay. So I sit there for a second, and I go, I don't know what to do. So I nest ball, I got the Arceus V, and then I'm like, okay. Attach water energy to Spiritomb, attach Joy Spark to Spiritomb, and fade out for 40. Put that all into my hand, that all goes back into my hand. Then I promoted the Arceus, that was the only one in turn. I was like, she's starting the 1 Genesect. I'm hoping she doesn't have a lot.
Like the absolute, yeah.
And all she had was a couple of Battle VIP passes. Like, she had 2 the normal stuff, really.
All they had, yeah.
2 Battle VIP passes, and then she just drew a couple of cards with Genesect attached manually to Mew. This is the normal setup. But then, luckily, bringing up the Arceus, I then top decked Iono, which was great. I think it was Iono or Judge. It was a supporter. I think it was Iono because we both drew 6. Yeah. Attached double turbo, which I had in my hand at the start. I think I had a double turbo and water. That's my pad at the starting hand. So I attached the water to the thingy for maximum damage output, 40. And then the Genesect's still in the active, which does stay in the active for a surprising amount of time, which I didn't expect. But I think it's because because the Spiritomb stopped her from drawing. So
obviously you put that back down.
And I think she did retreat it, but it was with double turbo and promote it, and then basically had nothing to promote. I think she promoted the Archaea, the Genesect. I had the Choice Belt as well, so the next turn after I powered up, Choice Belt went straight onto the Arceus, double turbo, and then I bossed up the Genesect that was fresh, knocked that out. Next turn, Muse in play, normal Muse stuff, but then the Arceus does go down. I attack with another Arceus.
Without a Choice Belt.
Without the Choice Belt, 180 to the already damaged Genesect, because that's what I was setting up from the beginning with the fade out.
Of course it was, yeah.
It was. That's why I attached the Choice Belt. So I wanted maximum damage.
You could have just hit it for 10.
I could have just hit it for 10, but Switch Cart would have meant that it would have not been 180 anymore.
See, big brain.
So,
Giga Brain, that is actually.
That was actually so cool. And she did say that the Spiritomb probably won me the game.
Yeah.
Because that allowed me to get double boss, and then Slacking knocked out the I think I hit the Mew for 260. She knocked that out, stands for 2 prizes, but just by the natural course of the game, she can't win.
Yeah.
So I won. I went 4-2 in the end, and then...
And did you make top 8?
No, I need to talk about this. There was 2 people on 4-2, and it was me and this other guy. We're the only 4-2s, I think. Because the other people, there would have been 3, but those guys tied.
Okay.
So that was brilliant. But I played 2 people that were in top 8. So my resistance was 57%.
It was something quite high.
So it was relative.
High-ish,
it was higher than...
It was the... Spoiler alert, he made top 8.
Yeah.
But the person with the same result had like 40% resistance or something. So your resistance was quite a bit more, yeah. So you're going into top 8, you're 8th seed.
8th seed.
So you're playing first seed.
Yes.
You know who first seed is.
Yeah.
And you know what they're playing.
Yeah.
What's your thought? Because I know what my thought was when you text me.
Yeah. This is probably the worst matchup. Maybe like joint with Tina and...
Also Miraidon.
Yeah, Miraidon's bad.
Miraidon I would say is a bad matchup turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giratina's late game, if you can get through it.
It's kind of a tie with
but
those.
Lugia single strike with fighting guys.
Crap matchup.
Don't play Dunsparce.
This was a roller coaster. This
skill
top 8
issue of no Dunsparce.
This top 8 match was a roller coaster. So I'm sat down for top 8, and the head judge comes over and goes, "Oh, Kai, you have a game lost, game won."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh."
You're like,
I still don't know what for, but I was like, "Oh, okay." So he chose. It was annoying because he got to choose whether he went first or second.
Yes.
So he went first. I know that this game was really quick. I had Arceus, another Arceus. He went first. I attached double turbo. He did his normal stuff. He went first, so he did his normal stuff. I attached double turbo, powered up another Arceus, had Bidoof on the bench. A relatively okay setup. He then goes to his turn. He gets the knockout, 220. And I'm like, this ain't going well. I promote...
So you didn't get Path or anything?
No, it was just...
Because obviously you just...
I did get Path in play, but he got the stadium.
Okay.
But it was in his starting hand.
Okay.
So it was just like, whatever. I lost that one relatively quick. That was really quick. And then game 3. Oh my. So I go first.
Mm-hmm.
I get quite a good turn 1, to be fair. So I get it wasn't a double turbo, but I'm going first, so I can't attack anyway. I know this match pretty much off by heart. Attached Water Energy. The first turn Path, I was like, I kept the Path until his first turn was over.
Yeah,
because I Starbirthed instead.
You play Path turn 2, don't you? Yeah.
So he did his normal stuff, relatively normal setup, ended the turn with the Arceus. All these Pokemon. Lugia, normal attack, Read the Wind, is it called? Strong 3 cards, which it got Judge Pathed away. I had the Arceus powered up, 220 or whatever it was, 180. Path Judge, all that stuff. Powered up the Slacking with 1 energy, which was annoying. But one energy, which is why I said when I was in the top 8, I checked my deck and there was like no energy. I was like, great.
Uh-oh.
So Slacking got powered up, and then I put water on the Arceus, so it was literally 2 energy going. I was like, oof.
Prized.
In my hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And no Squirrel.
2 were prized, 1 was on the active Arceus, and 3 were in my hand. So it was 3 energy I attached. So I attached 2 to the Slacking and 1 to the thing, but that's all I had for the rest of the game.
Right.
So that was annoying. But the 2 on the Slacking means I can't get the 1 shot with the Slacking if I attach the double turbo. It's 270 with a choice belt. So that's what I was trying to do. But it doesn't work like that sometimes. Mm-hmm. So he gets the judge turn, obviously, 4 cards in his hand, draws for turn, and without even putting the cards into his hand, he puts down the Single Strike Stadium, and I was like, well, that's it. He has a little laugh because I said that.
So he top decked that?
He top decked it.
You obviously saw that.
He drew it and then went, oh, and then played it down. And then sick. He goes, Professor Burnett, evolve the ability, and then hits me for he gets the turn 1 Stonjourner. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Stonjourner goes out. I promote the Arceus, and I knew it was bad from here. I didn't get the energy that turn. If I would have got the energy on the, if I needed the energy on the Slacking that turn, and I needed the energy and something else. I can't remember what I needed, but I know I needed the energy for the Slacking because I needed the other energy next turn for the Slacking to be able to knock out a big Pokemon. But you got the Stonjourner knockout. I promote Arceus. Arceus hits for 180, so I missed the energy completely. Even after Squovetting and B-barreling and an Iono.
So you didn't get like the manual.
Yeah. And this was when I knock out the Lugia here, I think. No, the Stonjourner goes out. Next turn, Lugia comes in, hits me for 220. I hit it for 180. Next turn, I try to get the... So Slacking's basically coming up now, being as my 1 attacker. But the turn before that, I missed the Crushing Hammer to get rid of the gift energy after a judge.
Yeah.
Which wasted his whole hand, basically.
I guess the hammer on the gift energy would have...
which means that his whole hand is basically, the judge was pointless. He goes up to 7, and I'm like, yeah, this is when he gets everything he needs. And he goes, Vitality, all that fun stuff. Knocks out the Slacking, and that's the 2 Arceus and the Slacking gone. And I technically got 2-0'd because I don't count the game loss. However, I was going to get 2-0'd anyway, so I can't really say that I was bad because I lost even under a game loss, because it's just...
Lugia's hard anyway, let alone with weakness.
Yeah, that was just
because
shocking.
I think even without weakness, like the Tyranitar can just body you as well.
Yeah.
Because then I hit like 300 or something stupid.
Yeah, so although I can't quite remember how the decks went, the games went exactly, you get the idea of how I lost and how I won. So it was, all in all, I didn't expect to make top 8, but that is why we played Arceus, is because many people, you and Hasib, and myself included, were saying how it is the closest to 100% top cut deck there is at the moment.
It's not tier 1, it's not tier 3, it's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have auto losses. I would say Lugia or fighting, but if you delete weakness, because weakness is an auto loss for nearly everything, it doesn't have a bad matchup per se. Everything is ish 50-50, if not better than 50-50, right? Like if you'd have played like 6 last box, you'd have just gone 6-0. Like I pretty much think you would have gone 6-0, right? So Miraidon is hard if they get the turn 1. Giratina is the mid game, you've got to survive. If you survive, you're good. Lugia, they just need to play colourless Lugia and you probably win. But obviously they didn't because the other one's better. Any single prize deck, you're fine. So we decided, I was like, so technically you're in a coin flip situation, i.e. Crushing Hammer style, that every match you go into technically, with, like I said, deleting weakness, they flip over their active and you're like, okay, I have a chance. Not, bruh, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you play Miraidon and they flip over a fighting deck, you're just done.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how bad it is, right? If you play Lost Box and you're playing against Guardy, you're probably licking your lips because you're like, well, it's easy.
Yeah.
Whereas the reason we went with this deck is because, like Lewis said, even though he did it the hard way, he still had to win out. But the matchup spread is good enough to win out. You know, you're not looking at, I went 0-1, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stuff like that. So, I like the deck.
I like the deck too.
It's really fun. And it's kind of like just easy to play.
Yeah, it was.
Like I wouldn't say it's like small brain.
It's not really.
But it's also a very judge path, hammers just for banter, attack, heal, judge path, hammers for banter, rinse and repeat till your opponent runs out of stuff.
Yeah, it was. I was happy that I got top 8 out of 44 players.
Yep, really good.
That's good. I'm
really
happy
good.
with that. 4-2, just scraped my way in. So it's not the end of the world. A couple of points on the board. If the top 8 match, anyone could have said that though. If I would have won the top 8 match, I would have won top 4, and then if I won the top 4, I could have won the final. But as I said before,
what would you have played top 4? Do you know?
Either Miraidon or Goodra. Because
Miraidon,
I couldn't have played Kai.
Miraidon got to the final, so who did Kai play top 4, do you know?
Kai played Goodra, so I played Goodra.
So you'd play Goodra.
So I'll talk about top 8. In top 8, there were 2 Goodras who played each other in top 8.
Wow.
There was me and Kai, Lugia, and my Arceus thing. There was Guardy and... I don't remember what this kid was.
Miraidon, Arceus.
Palkia.
Oh yeah, because Luke was playing it, yeah.
And then there was 2. All I remember is that there was 2 Goodras, which was nuts. So that's fun. 2 Goodras.
So the final would have been a rematch of round 1.
Yeah, if I would have made the final, I'd have been against. Yeah,
that would have been interesting. That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
But
yeah, the guy I played I can't complain about my round 1 loss then. If I lost to the winner, really nice guy he was. Never seen him before, but he was a really really nice guy.
Nice.
A couple of mentions. I thank George for the Subway.
Big shout out for the Subway.
That was a big Subway moment.
Nice. Terry for the lift.
And the judges, I guess, and for Mike laughing when I said that I pulled my last game out of my ass because I just benched Spiritomb and hoped. And yeah, it all in all, it was a really good day out. Got back. We actually went the wrong way for a little bit on the way back, but we got back. And I'm here now, and I have however many more points added to my thing.
25?
20.
25 or 20 or something.
I'll take that
stuff.
So yeah, next cup is this Sunday.
In Worcester.
Our own 15 Masters.
It's a mini cup. Because we only got a mini room this time. But it'll still be good. We've got like 22 players, 15 or 16 or something like that Masters. I think. Probably will only be a top 4. So even though less players sounds easier, it could actually be harder because the strategy that you did in the last cup won't work in a small cup because resistance will be a massive part. So you kind
Good job on changing deck, man, innit?
You kind of got to go 3-0 and then double ID, I think. Yeah.
Good job on playing that.
Good job he's playing last box.
Yep, there we go.
Because, he's going for 5 ties. So yeah, as he said, he's not playing Arceus.
Not playing Arceus. Wow.
Or last box.
We all have to see what I'm playing. What I'm playing is very
it's
unique.
It's different. It's something we've cooked up.
We'll let him cook.
We're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a deck that we've actually created technically from scratch.
Pretty much.
So it's going to be like our 0-3 drop. So yeah.
I don't know what he's playing. He hasn't told me.
I'm judging.
Are you actually? You're such a loser. That means you're such a bum.
I'm not playing. Like I'm going to judge it because it's small on space and all that lot. So I was like, I'm going to judge.
Can you fix it for me?
No.
Simon. I drew 7 extra cards. Allow it.
I'm like 6 prize penalty, mate.
That'll be. Yeah.
And then you'll be grounded.
We were making this a quick.
This was going to be quick, but it's like nearly an hour. So we're
waffle day.
Yeah. So we're gonna let you go. Like, subscribe, comment. Definitely like this time for Lewis's achievement. It's the first top 8 in a long time, so that's really good. And we'll be back. Sometime in the next so many days
with an actual topic.
I say so many days.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the Worcester Cup.
Yes.
And depending on what's going on with everything, we'll talk about the Worcester Cup, and we can do a podcast, like a normal podcast with that.
Yeah.
Or we'll do it separate again, like if there's a lot of news going on, because I don't think there's any tournaments until LAIC, so which is like next weekend or some.
Yes.
But obviously, Paradox Rift is out, so there's like Iron Hands and Iron Valiant and
Moon
Iron
thing. What's it called? I don't know what's it called.
The stupid Salamence.
Dawn Wings. Where's that come
That's
from?
That's
I know. I don't know what
it's
called.
Moon Wings?
I don't know.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Savage Moon or something. Bro, what's it called?
What is it called?
Moon. Dark Moon?
I don't know if they can see this. If they can't, it's just us Googling it.
Gouging Eyes is the attack.
We're just Googling this.
Roaring Moon!
Is it? There we go. He's got it before I even had the chance.
So stupid, idiot Roaring Moon deck, which is impossible to test anything online because everyone just loves Roaring Moon. Sucks. The deck's trash. That's my opinion. I'm just saying it right now. It's basically a 2 prize deck that knocks anything out, right?
Just quit waffling, mate.
Like we've never seen that before. Have we?
He's the waffler.
Roaring Moon trash, not going to win LAIC. That's my prediction.